Ustaz Sajid.
Welcome to Sum Up Sajid. Today we are going to give you a very short summary of the longest surah in the Quran, Surah Al Baqarah.
Al Baqarah. It is the second surah inside the Quran. It has 286 ayahs and it is called the cow in English.
Surah Al Baqarah is a Medinan surah and the longest chapter in the Quran. Al Baqarah means the cow. This name was taken from the story in the surah when Allah asks Bani Israel to sacrifice a cow. Instead of obeying Allah, the people made many excuses, making simple tasks very difficult. Surah Al Baqarah talks about the qualities of the believers, disbelievers, and hypocrites. It also talks about the different blessings that Allah has given us. On this note, have you ever tried writing down the blessings Allah has given you every day? Try it. It will remind you how generous Allah is and to always be thankful. In this surah, Allah tells us the stories from the life of Prophet Musa alayhi salam and his people, Bani Israel. With this story, it reminds us to follow the path that pleases Allah and to stay away from the mistakes made by Bani Israel.
Do you know any interesting facts about the Quran? Let's hear it.
There are 6 surahs named after the prophets. Can you name them?
The Quran was revealed over 23 years, 13 years of it in Mecca and 10 years of it in Medina.
In the last part of Surah Al Baqarah, Allah has given us many rules and guidelines about different things like fasting, Hajj, charity, and business. Most of the ayah or verses in the surah were revealed in the first 2 years after Hijrah. Through this surah, Allah taught Muslims a lot of things that they needed to know in the new city. We can learn many things from Surah Al Baqarah. Here are a few of them. The pious people, or the muttaqeen, are very careful about their prayers. We must learn to pray in the correct manner, and we should try to pray on time. Allah loves us. Allah loves the muttaqeen. Quran is the only book in the world that is perfect. It doesn't have any mistakes. All the teachings in the Quran are full of benefits, so we must read the Quran every day and follow it. Allah gives a lot of rewards to those who are patient. When something bad happens, or we lose something, we must be patient and say, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. To Allah we belong, and unto Him is our return. In this surah, you will find wonderful stories full of lessons and wisdoms, like the story of the yellow cow, the story of a man and his donkey who came alive after being dead for hundreds of years, the story of Adam alayhi salam, the story of Ibrahim alayhi salam and the 4 birds, the story of Harut and Marut, the story of Talut and Jalut.
But before we continue, let's listen to some of my friends on how they were able to memorize the Quran.
They should keep reading like with their moms or dads Quran, so then they can get a little chunk in their brain.
Always go with the smallest surahs to the biggest surahs so that you can easily memorize them, because the smallest ones are the easiest to memorize and the longer ones take a little more time.
Here are 5 Arabic words you should know from this surah. Muttaqeen means pious, God-fearing. Huda means guidance. Bani Israel means children of Israel. Siyam means fasting. Ni'mah means blessing. The most excellent of all verses is mentioned in this chapter. which is known as Ayatul Kurs, or the throne verse. Let's recite it together. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم.
Anyone want to share anything else?
A year ago, I started memorizing the Quran, and it was kind of hard on me because I would just keep on forgetting stuff, and I just have to keep on looking back to read. And my uncle's like, every time you finish a surah, you have to read all of it without looking. And this is me. Well, he said you have to memorize it though. I was so nervous. Every time I'm reading, I can never read the entire surah without making a mistake. And then when I know, I completely feel like I know the entire surah, I read it and it's wrong. I finally memorized the surah after I've actually practiced that whole, instead of playing games and throwing water balloons.
Sum it up, Ustaz Sajid.
Subscribe today, only on Muslim Kids TV.